as we were discussing in our short caring connections. So 5D relationships, 5D oneness consciousness are people who are able to look at their left and right mode. So sensations that arise from their body, thoughts that they use, their chit chatter. It's always in a state of expanding consciousness. So compassion is used. Compassion means being able to have a self-talk that is in equanimity land, to say the least. So you're not hiding your feelings from you, but you also have a whole heart. And if you have any type of childhood trauma, you are aware of it, you are getting good therapy, and you know how not to do the weaponization of psych education, which is instead when you find low self-esteem individuals who have yet to resolve their unresolved trauma. So they're projecting their trauma story, they're even projecting their actual behavior from the household of their own, because our unfinished business is from our home. It's not with the people outside the world. So any person who's acting in certain ways and that has not yet been able to become a part of society in a normal, I say adult way, because see, to 5D people, normal means you know that your nature as a human being is compassion. But that's only if you enter into being able to use your restorative embodied self, which is something that a somatic therapist will inform you about. Not the 4D who tell you your fight flight can block your spirituality awakening. Your spirituality awakening is always because you're a person who has consciousness. It's called primary and secondary, and you use this thing here, your brain, to process it. However, your embodied brain has an experience. The first 3 years of your life, it's all implicit memory. So if your body wasn't safe, you're not feeling safe in the world and you're externalizing it. That's why when people say human beings are sucky or broken, those of us with whole 3-year-old hearts are like, no, humans aren't broken. They have need of good trauma therapists. If you look at the scale of evil, 1 to 22, by Michael Stone, lovely forensic criminologist or psychologist, they are all people that need a good therapist, even the extreme ones who have actual psychopathic brain structures. So while 4D and other 3D keep talking about humanity, with the ancients, some of us, we get educated for real, not pretend, for real, because if you're a human, you know humans aren't all that bad. I'm a human. I'm not going to insult my own species. Some people like to live in the sphere of imagination, and no, we all can have 5D mystic here in our mind's eye, the awareness of our past lives, of our connection to the sphere of shared consciousness. And this is exactly why 4D misses out a lot, because instead of working on their body and their emotional regulation, they go on a journey, which we see right now, talking about spiritual warfare, conspiracy theories, energy vampires, dark auras, putting people against each other versus, let me use our lovely Sadhguru for a minute, without duality, creation would not be possible. The entire cosmic activity requires the presence of two, Shiva and Shakti. So 4D mystics, they don't all know about spirituality stuff the right way. And even when they read things like this, the minute that they're saying conspiracy is the minute they don't understand this. They don't understand the concept of duality because they're not looking at it from oneness consciousness. They're not interpreting it with the open-minded of a person who understands duality. Here, let me present it to you with or without free will. I'm going to give you the option of how to treat me. Let's see, which option are you going to choose? And then let's see, what are you going to conclude with? So some of us, we know how to always blossom in abundance. And on that note, when we meet people who don't, we're very, very sad. The 3-year-old broken heart can, like Patrick Tiahan, childhood trauma survivor, healed and healing M therapist, find good information on psych education. Good. They go find the silverbacks who tell them emotions don't matter, to ignore that, versus, no. As soon as you are, ew, compassion, that's a red flag. I'm going to share that. So when we see people do, ew, now I know how to move and scurry away. Because if you're ill to compassion, it means you're ill to your own 3-year-old and all the implicit memory that's going to come up. And you know what's going to happen next. Because that's what a 5D person will know. And it's a lot of years, 43, not too many, but enough to know projection. And that's not because I don't have flaws. I got plenty of flaws, but there's a difference. So 5D people take accountability and ownership. So if you say, you hurt my feelings, you disrespected me, if you get shamed, blamed faulted and I may revenge. That one's good because we don't really look into it because, too much brain power to pay attention to people who are not evil in the way that they think they are. They're people who need a good trauma therapist. So to be compassionate is very important because we'll know something's wrong. You're a human like I'm a human and you're not doing anything particular, but I can feel that you're upset inside and there's no need for you to be in this room right now because there's plenty of other rooms out there. It's 2023. So people who use their prefrontal cortex, we stay connected to where we're at because we don't use our amygdala because it's not overused. It's not hypervigilant. We're not in our fight flight with humanity. I forgot. 5D, don't do. Let me assume based on stereotypes and based on me thinking I know everything you're saying. That's actually very rude. It's like, I'm using words. You can be the dictionary police. I'm not you. And I don't do dictionary police stuff. So how about you allow yourself to silence while you're talking? Okay, so when we meet people that are here, we learn how to eventually have a good time with the 2-year-old because we give them the floor and we let them talk. So people who have low self-esteem, because it's low self-esteem, and if you're telling somebody else how they need to talk and feel, you just want the silverback group. So go to your group. We allow people to be themselves so that we can get out of the room because we're presented with limited consciousness. And it's very boring to be presented with people who don't know how to talk about their feelings because we love feelings and there's nothing wrong with them. And if you get pissy, we're going to be like, okay, let me leave that one alone. As I was saying, though, and I'm looking for some information from lovely Patrick Tiahan. As he points out, trauma is relational abuse that requires relational healing. To tell your story in front of a safe person who can take it all in. And trauma mucks up people's lives. Yes, so people that don't recognize they have trauma, though, they throw that stuff in faces of people that are compassionate. Okay, and on that note, let's not make it into this or that because the 5D person knows about duality. And the minute you've decided that you're going to take actions that treat me in a certain way is the minute that I'm going to decide to keep doing what I know because I'm aligned with Purusha Prakriti, even without yoga or Sadhguru. But knowing about it is quite amazing, the alignment. And alignment with your heart body, value body, energy, physical and mental is because you maintain, I'm a human being with a heart and it's whole and you're a human being. And so even if you are insecure, I know how to handle my words. As we usually discuss in the episodes and just in general, the Zen masters, like of the Zen tradition story of Sadhguru, know how to speak of forgiveness. And it isn't because somebody needs your forgiveness. No, it's because, like Daniel Siegel explains, forgiveness is knowing the past doesn't ever change. A person who's a whole 3-year-old has no trauma because there's processing of whatever traumatic events and unfinished business is done at home. Or essentially there's the ability to say, here's how I'm feeling. So we're always able to give the data, the story, the feeling, and then say, here's behavior. We don't filter. In fact, this is not about love in a way of let me subject myself. No, it's healthy self-worth love. So it means I'm not superior and inferior to you. I'm going to get my ventral vagal tone. And it can be a no. It can be a yes. So when treated in certain ways, we don't do the shame. We don't do guilt. We don't feel pressured. In fact, we're very good with pushy people because we are considered pushy by some people. This is a very place, though, where unlike those who have unfinished business and who project their household, those of us who are mature, the 5D person, will say, I'm so sorry that you find my unconditional love so pushy to the extent of actually insulting me. But I understand that we are completely different. Therefore, I will back off with how loving and how excited and how whatever it is, because we're not consistent as people. We don't speak friends, relationships out of our mouths without meaning it for the long term, because that's really what relationships are about. It's building the good relational connection so we can't fuck it up because we are talking about our feelings or our thoughts, being ourselves. That's the point of any intimate relationship. So true intimacy, though, can only come when there's heart-to-heart vulnerability. And people that don't know how to do that, it's because they really should hear and go to people like Patrick Tiahan, good therapists, because it's unfortunate. They miss out on the most amazing part of life. To be compassionate and unconditionally loving from your body is your nature. It's our nature as people. And 4D doesn't remember this apparently, nor do 3D, but 5D does. So tune in for more relationships minus the drama and all about emotional building.